Right now, in this exact second, more than half of the FIRs filed in Indian police stations are not reaching Indian courts digitally. Only 46% are. That means for every 10 criminal cases registered in this country, 5 or 6 of them are still moving in the police station to the courtroom the old way, as paper in a file carried by a constable, stamped by hand, hoping nothing gets lost or delayed or quietly misplaced along the way. And the government has just set a deadline. From 1st of January 2027, that's less than 6 months from today, every single investigation and trial under India's new criminal laws is supposed to be recorded completely digitally. No exceptions whatsoever. So here's the real question. Is India's criminal justice system actually ready to go fully digital in the next 6 months? Or are we about to watch a 150-year-old paper system get a shiny new interface stitched on the top of the same old cracks? Now you might be thinking, okay, this sounds like a bureaucratic ID upgrade. Why should I care? Here's why. If you ever file an ITR for a theft, cyber fraud, property dispute, anything, the speed and accuracy of that digital trail decides whether a case moves in months or rots in file cabinets for days. So if you're wrongly named a case, a broken digital system is what stands between you and the evidence that could clear you, sitting unlinked in some forensic lab server while you sit in judicial custody. If you're a UPSC aspirant, this is a live GS2 and GS3 topic, which will include your governance, digital India, criminal justice system, criminal justice reform, and all rolled into one. And if you are just a citizen who pays taxes, this project called the Interoperable Criminal Justice System, ICJS, is being built with public money on the promise that it will make justice faster and fairer for 1.4 billion people. This is the operating system of how crime investigation and punishment will work in India for the decades. And in 6 months, it is supposed to switch fully on. Now, to understand what's happening now, you have to meet the character at the center of the story. And that character isn't a person. It's a 160-year-old law. India's criminal justice system, until very recently, ran on 3 colonial-era pillars. The Indian Penal Code of 1960, which defined crimes, the Code of Criminal Procedure, largely from 1898 and revised in 1973, which laid out how investigations and trials happen. The Evidence Act of 1872, which decided what counted as valid proof in a court. Now think about that for a second. A law written when evidence meets a handwritten witness statement and a wax seal with still being produced, used by 2024 to decide whether a WhatsApp chat or a CCTV or a digital forensic report could convict someone. The system was patched. And the Indian Evidence Act of 1872, which decided what counted as a valid proof in a court. Now think about that for a second. A law written when evidence meant a handwritten witness statement and a wax seal was still being used by 2024 to decide whether a WhatsApp chat, a CCTV clip, or a digital forensic report could convict someone. The system was actually patched, it was amended, it was stretched, but never rebuilt. Every court kept its own paper cause list. Every prisoner keeps its own paper prisoner register. Now every forensic lab kept its own paper report format. And none of them talk to each other. That's the big part. And if a charge sheet needed a forensic lab report from a lab 3 states away, someone physically carried the file or worse, waited for post. Now this fragmented paper-heavy system produced predictable results, and not the good kind. Cases were stretching for 10, 15, 20 years and under trials sitting in jail longer than eventual sentence. See, evidence going missing between the police station and the courtroom. Then on July 1st, 2024, the character in our story changed completely. The IPC, CRPC, and the Evidence Act. Again, all of these 3 mainstream laws were formally repealed and replaced by the 3 new laws by the government of India. The Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, and the Bharatiya Sakshya Adhiniyam. Now, built into these new laws for the first time was a legal mandate for a digital process. Digital FIRs, digital evidence, digital trial records. The paper-based protagonist of India's criminal law was, on paper at least, retired. But passing the law is the easy part. Building the machine that actually runs it, that's where the story gets interesting. The machine we are talking about is the ICJS, Interoperable Criminal Justice System. And here's what most people don't know. This isn't a brand new invention built for 2027. It's an old idea finally being forced to work. The ICJS is designed to link 5 separate digital systems that already existed in silos. CCTNs for police records, e-court for judicial data, e-prison for jail records, e-forensic for lab records, e-prosecution for public prosecutor's office. The idea on a simple paper is one case, one digital trial, entered once, visible to every authorized agency along the way, all of it sitting investing in Meghraj, the government's own cloud infrastructure. The National Crime Record Bureau, NCRB, it runs it, with the National Informatics Center, again building the tech underneath. Now here's the first surprise. The system isn't struggling to get off the ground. It's actually accelerating faster than most government digital projects ever do. The National ICJS implementation score, a measure of how completely each state has plugged into the system, jumped from 46.67% in January 2025 to 70% in January 2026. Now that's a jump of nearly 24 percentage points in 18 months. For a government IT rollout plan spanning 28 states and 8 union territories, that's genuinely fast. Now second surprise is that the backlog it's chewing through is enormous. See, as of May 2026, the ICJS database, it holds close to 38 crore police records. Within that, nearly 10 crore FIRs are there, over 7.6 crore charge sheets are there. Since the new criminal law came into force in July 2024, over 74 lakh FIRs already have been registered under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. This isn't a pilot project anymore, it's already one of the largest law enforcement databases on the planet. And the third surprise is where the story gets even more uncomfortable. Despite all that progress, the actual link between police and courts, the part that matters the most to an ordinary person waiting for justice, is still broken. Remember the 46% FIR transmission number from the opening. So, and the third surprise is where the story gets uncomfortable. Despite all the progress, the actual link between the police and courts, the part that matters most to an ordinary person waiting for justice, is still broken. Remember that 46% FIR transmission number from the opening? That's not old data. That's the current national average, which was reported by the NCRB right now in mid-2026. It means that for more than half of the criminal cases in the country, the police to court digital handoff simply isn't happening reliably yet. Even as the January 2027 fully digital deadline approaches, there's also a massive gap between states. Only 5, that is Haryana, Goa, Assam, Punjab and Chandigarh, have implemented single parameter of the system. 23 states and union territories, including India, are performing above the national average. But that also means several states are lagging far behind, and the government itself has flagged the biggest obstacle: internet connectivity in the remote and northeastern regions, where the physical infrastructure to even run a cloud-based justice system is still catching up. Now, to be fair to the system though, where it is working, it's working. The percentage of charge sheets filed within the legally mandated 60-day window rose from 51% to 67%. The 90-day compliance rate rose from 40% to 61%. See, now that's not a cosmetic number. That's cases actually moving faster through the pipeline, which is the entire point of digitalizing it in the first place. So where does India actually stand right now? 6 months out from a deadline that touches every criminal case in the country. So on one side, this is generally opportunity for scale. On the other, Indian democracy of the size of 1.4 billion people, hundreds of languages, thousands of police stations, has attempted to digitally interlink its entire criminal justice pipe, from the first FIR to the final prison report, on a single national cloud. If it works even reasonably well, now it would cut the average trial timeline, it will reduce evidence tampering, it will give investigators AI-assisted tools to detect pattern across crimes, repeat offenders, organized networks, forensic mismatches that a paper system could never surface. But on the other side, there's a real risk, and it's just about slow Wi-Fi in Nagaland. The government's own review flags that India still doesn't have a comprehensive legal. See, AI is used inside the system. How digital evidence is authenticated, or how the enormous centralized database of FIRs, charge sheets, fingerprints, and prisoner records is protected from misuse. Now, this is a database that, when complete, will hold intimate legal history on tens of millions of Indians, accused, acquitted, and convicted alike, all searchable, all centralized, and all permanent. And that tension is the real stake here. India isn't just choosing between paper and digital. It's choosing what kind of a digital system gets built while the world is watching. See, one built for speed and accountability, or one built for speed alone with accountability added later, if at all. Now, here is one thing I want you to walk away with. Digitalizing a broken process doesn't automatically fix it. It just makes the process good or bad move a lot faster. If the ICJS works the way it's designed to, it won't just digitize India's criminal justice system, it will digitalize the delays, the biases, the blind spots, to just faster than ever before, unless under the legal safeguards are built with the same urgency as the technology. A system that can send a charge sheet to a court in Assam in the time it used to take a corridor to leave the police station, that same system without proper oversight can also lock in an error, a wrongful entry or a data breach at exactly that same speed. Speed is not the same as justice. Speed is just a multiplier. What it multiplies, it depends entirely on what you feed it. And that's the sentence worth remembering. India isn't digitalizing justice. It's digitalizing the justice system it already had. And whether that turns out to be a good thing depends on whether the fixing happens before the switch flips on or after. So here's what I want you all to sit with. By January 2027, your FIR, your charge sheet, your forensic report, your bail order, your prison record, if you're ever part of any criminal case, guilty or innocent, all of it lives permanently on one government cloud, accessible in real time to police stations, courts and prosecutors across the country. Now that kind of system can either be fastest route to justice that country has ever built, or the most efficient way to make sure that you are ever accused of is forgotten. So tell me, when a government builds a system this powerful, this centralized and this permanent, who is interoperability really designed to protect? The citizen waiting for the case to move, or the state that now holds every record on that citizen forever in one place? Drop your answer in the comment section. I'll actually want to read where you land on this. Do let me know your answer in the comment section. I'll be very happy to read them. All the very best and have a beautiful day. Thank you, everyone.